Rachel Wilson cooking feminist. Ah, doesn't it just taste good? I got a banger from whatever clips. Let's get straight into it.
Whenever people say silly things like, oh, I feel sorry for your wife and kids, I always say, I'm happy to come on and, say hello and, just field any questions you guys might have about what it's like to be married to a based Giga Chad like Andrew. So if you got anything to say, here I am.
I'll go first then. How do you feel with your husband making these comments on live as well? Well, just saying rude things to women or screaming over them. How do you feel with that?
Well, he doesn't say rude things to women until they say something rude to him first. So Bangs was the first one to say, he's got wrinkles and he's old and he's got gray hair and he's gross. So of course he's going to say something back. And they've had exchanges back and forth before. And she's plenty happy to be rude and say mean things to him first. Everyone thinks that's okay because she's a woman. But if Andrew just simply gives her a taste of her own medicine back, you all go, you believe he said that? And it's like, why? Why is it fine for her to insult him, but it's uncalled for when he just simply gives it back to her? What's wrong with that?
Also, last time I was on here, he said that I wasn't a 10 because I had small boobies.
Oh my goodness. Why do you care? Who cares? I had small boobies. What are we in 7th grade?
And I didn't do anything. I just said I was a 10.
I have a question for you too. He said that you're getting worse with age. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've been on the show myself, and I'm 44 years old. I've had 5 kids.
Actually, Rachel looks good for 44. I'll give it to her.
So, no, I'm not as hot as I was when I was 22. This is a fact of life that all women have to deal with. The time of your life that you're hot it's short, and it's limited. You're not going to always be a hot chick. So
Facts.
You can't expect that part of your life to last forever. I mean, it's just a fact of life that we all get less attractive as we age. Doesn't mean he's not attracted to me or I'm not attracted to him, but I'm not as hot as I was when I was 22. In fact, when I was on the show, I rated myself a 5. And everybody always gets upset with Andrew because he rates me a 6. And I'm like, I think he's giving me just a hair more than I deserve. But I'm a normal, regular, 44-year-old Midwestern mom of 5. You want me to come on here and say I'm a 10? Do I look like Pamela Anderson? You know what I mean?
I'll keep it a buck. Pamela Anderson aged like yogurt. I don't know if y'all seen her recently, but I think ain't she in her 60s? You're supposed to look like a grandma at that age, bruv.
It's like, come on, just be realistic. You guys get upset with him because he tries to give you a little tiny dose of reality, and he doesn't blow a bunch of smoke up your ass. But he's never rude or mean unless you do it to him first.
That's not true.
Okay, can you give me an example?
I just gave you one.
Well, you had an attitude. So you were being kind of like how you did earlier, where you're like, I'm going to dominate a man and I'm going to do.
No,
so
but
if you come with a sassy attitude and then call yourself a 10 when you're clearly objectively not a 10.
I can have that was just my personality. But when I said it was that comment where it's when the person said rate yourself 1 through 10, I literally, when it was my turn, I said 10, and then I was like, do you want me to stand up? Because I wanted him to rate me, and then he gave me an 8, but then he was like, he had Andrew rate me. He said a 3, or she's she's not a 10. She has no boobies.
Doesn't that make you uncomfortable?
I was like, what? I didn't do anything. I just rated myself.
Isn't that weird that your man is looking at her chest? Isn't that weird?
She stood up and asked to have her body evaluated.
No, I said I was asking. I wasn't asking for him. By the time I asked, he wanted what's his name?
Andrew.
So, just a second here.
She doesn't even know his name, bro. She doesn't know Brian's name.
You said you were a 10. Andrew said, no, you're not a 10. And he had to explain why. So that was the reason he gave. That's his opinion. No, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It doesn't bother me.
But it was so unnecessary. That's why I'm saying that he is mean when there's no reason to be mean. I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, I watched
his comment was so unnecessary.
I watch every episode You were no little angel. You were not some sweet, nice girl.
I am not
really
an angel.
kind.
I never said that.
Right. So you had attitude, you had sass, you
Yeah, but never. Yeah, but like, and that
moment. Small boobs, then you have small boobs. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm sorry that
the comment wasn't
noticed
necessary. The comment wasn't necessary.
We're just asking for how you feel about your grown-ass husband saying that stuff.
First of all, don't ever say grown-ass man. It's ghetto.
I don't give a fuck.
Whoa.
Try reading some books.
Do you know what ghetto is?
Bro, the girl on the far right bangs. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show, but she looks like somebody from Fraggle Rock.
Shots fired!
All of you've been to all this college, and I'm like, where's all the college education for all these college educate? You're all in college, and you can't put two,
You're not even using the word. You're not even using the word ghetto right. So
you have like no
He's
backbone.
a grown ass. He's not a grown ass, man.
but saying those words does not make her ghetto.
You have no
Do
backbone.
you know what ghetto
Ghetto
is?
thing to say.
A white woman
backbone.
saying the word ghetto. Crazy.
I feel bad for you.
Crazy.
I feel bad for you because you're 22 and you're on OnlyFans and you've already hit your peak.
Shots fired!
And you're plenty happy to be rude. You
She had nothing to say after that.
have been so rude on this show, Bangs. Don't sit here and gaslight this whole audience. We've all seen you on here, multiple appearances. You are rude and nasty as you can be.
And
then you
that
they're
gets
literally
the
perfect for each other.
views. That gets the views. Why do you think I keep getting invited back? Why do you think I keep getting invited back?
She's really.
I hate to say it, but if you keep getting invited back to the whatever podcast, it's because it's easy to make you look stupid.
You stupid.
She's literally.
I'm every time I'm on here, I am the title. I am the title every time,
Hollering, I
lady.
can't hear them. When you both start clucking,
No, I said that it's like I just complimented. Like you guys are literally the perfect couple. Like I see why he's attracted to you. Like yes, you guys are a perfect couple. Definitely.
listen, I think it's mean. I think it's actually the cruel thing to do to let young women have free license to act terrible, to be entitled, to be rude, to think that they owe everything handed to them on a silver platter because they push their boobs up, to act like this short phase of life when you're at your peak fertility is going to last forever. That is what's mean, because what happens
I'm sorry,
is,
you can't live that anymore, and we're going through it. Like what?
See, this is the thing though. I never did that. I didn't do this thing where I was just like
it's giving old and mad.
In my 20s and 30s. Are you gonna let me talk or what? So I didn't do this thing. I'd never did hands. I didn't sell pornography. I didn't go through a party phase. I was a mom when I was 20 years old. I only ever wanted to be in long-term committed relationships. I was hoping I would just get married and that would be it. I did get divorced. Wasn't my fault. Wasn't anything that could be done about it. Lesson learned, didn't repeat that. But what I'm telling you is the mean thing is the whole world telling you that you guys are strong, independent women where you're gonna cry because your hair straightener stopped working on your
Not so much on me. You said that you were being, or your man was only being rude to people who were being rude. I haven't been rude. So I don't feel like you should come for me.
Did you say confront you?
Come for me.
Come for you. I'm not coming for you. I'm saying it's absurd for you to believe that it's like normal behavior to cry because your straight iron broke or cry on every birthday. Like, young women live in such delusion nowadays. That's why everything's all messed up. That's why everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. You guys are not acting like the grown, strong, independent, equal with men, women that you claim to be. And when I just come on here and say, look, this behavior is ridiculous, this is silly and absurd, you can't even take it. You can't take the slightest bit of just like obvious criticism. I'm not calling you names. I'm not swearing at you or anything like that. I'm just saying, you guys were like, well, we want to know how you feel about this, and your husband is rude, and we don't like, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to explain it to you.
Okay,
I'm trying to explain to you that this princess fantasy world that you live in does need to be, somebody needs to break that down for you.
Yeah, somebody needs to check it. Shout out to Rachel for being the one to check it.
That's not reality.
Can I ask you a genuine question?
Yeah.
How long have you been with Andrew? Like married, or like in a like dating and married? I would say, like in a romantic.
17 years.
Okay, 17 years. So that's a long time. You guys seem like a relatively happy couple right now. Yeah. I'm sure you guys had to have some sort of like emotional connection, right? To like make your whole relationship last 17 years. Can you tell me like how you guys do that? Because he made a remark earlier about women not liking, like men not being vulnerable because women will use that against them. And so like
in general, yes.
Like he was saying men shouldn't really show like a lot of emotions, and I'm genuinely curious, if you've been with him for 17 years, like how do you guys keep that? Because I'm sure you guys get into fights too. You guys are human.
Early on, we got into more fights because all of you girls, and me included, okay? I wasn't like born a great wife. I don't think great wives are born. I think they're made.
Correct.
I think it's something it's like anything else. It's a skill you have to learn and you have to work on. So early on, yeah, I had some attitude issues here and there. Probably not to the extent that a lot of women do, but I would do stupid shit like if he gave me like a little bit of, stern, if he would say, no, we're not going to do that. And I'd get like pouty and like throw a remote control at him or something. And he'd be like, excuse me? If you're going to throw stuff at me, I'm not going to be with you. Like, if that's how you're going to behave, I'll just walk out. He wouldn't get angry or yell at me. He was just like, I'm not going to tolerate that. And at first I would be like, well, that's so, like, how could, and then I thought about it and I went, wait, do I want to be the chick that throws stuff at my man? Like,
well, yeah, well, a lot of times women will test you because they want you to be on their level of their emotional level. And Rachel Wilson, hey, shout out to her for being able to admit it, but she fell prey to that where she showed her emotional side and Andrew showed his stoic side, where she's basically trying to get him to feed into being emotional as well. And he's like, yeah, I'm not buying that. So, and as men, in general, it's great advice, at least from what I've learned at an early age, and what I tell young men is like, don't be too open and honest with a woman and let her know your insecurities, because women innately, biologically, subconsciously, they weaponize your insecurities because they want to test you. Women want to test you deep down. So that's why you can't always be completely honest with women. You got to give them a little bit, but not the whole iceberg. Ain't that right, Loki? I've fallen at work and been injured. Oh, wait. I should call my lawyer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. It's Levi Nichs of YouTube. Can I get some cash, please?
Morgan & 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 Morgan.
Did you know that your injury could be worth millions of dollars? Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury law firm in America, and they've recovered over $20 billion for their clients. $20 billion? That's a lot of cash. The insurance companies tried to lowball me, but Morgan & Morgan was able to take my pain and suffering and turn it into cold, hard cash. It's almost a good thing I was injured. But wait. How much is Morgan & Morgan gonna cost me? You never owe them legal fees unless they're successful. So it's completely free unless you win? Yeah. Hiring a lawyer? That sounds like really difficult. It's actually super easy. You can just go to their website, and in a couple clicks, you can find out if you have a case. And you can literally do it from your smartphone. And remember, there is only one Morgan & Morgan. Wait, but it's two names though. How is it? Give me the script. Oh, both their last names. Okay, I get it. Okay, roll it. You can start your claim today by going to forthepeople.com/Levi, found in the description below. So if you're injured, you can trust Morgan & Morgan. Y'all know what time it is. Can we get some freeze in the chat, poor flavor? Loki. Free. Don't let it fall. Good boy. Good boy. Let's get back into this cooking sesh that Rachel Wilson is on right now. Get her a chef's hat and a spatula.
Because he said something that like just hit me wrong in the ear, right? So I learned that Andrew's a man who has boundaries, and he doesn't ever need to be like loud with me or rude with me to enforce them. He's just firm. And he'll just be like, nope, I'm just not going to accept that. So as time went on, of course we got closer, and we share things, we share life experiences, and he'll tell me how he feels about things to a certain extent. But what he doesn't do is talk to me like I'm one of his girlfriends, right? He doesn't come home from work and be like, it was just such a tough day at work, and this guy said something to me, and it really made me feel unappreciated. And like, he doesn't dump like all of his emotions.
Yeah, you can't trauma dump on your girl, bro. It makes you seem soft. It's part of being stoic is realizing that. This is why I love Stoicism. And if you haven't read the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, you highly should. There's two books that I think every man should read. The 48 Laws of Power, and then also the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. But Stoicism preaches this, is you only have control over how you react. Things can happen. Things can happen, man. Control how you react, and everything's your fault. Everything is your fault. No matter what happens, good, bad, or ugly, it's your fault. Something bad happens, it's your fault. Something good happens, it's your fault. So once you take ownership of that, you really get a ton of power from it, because from what I've seen is a lot of people are professional victims. They're the victims of their circumstances instead of the heroes of their opportunities. So I urge you, don't be the victim of all your circumstances. Be the hero of your opportunities. Your life will be so much better, so much more freeing when you're like, everything's my fault and I just have to bear it and I can control how I react.
Emotional stuff on me. He has guy friends for that. He has a dad he can talk to if he's got like man stuff to talk about. We talk about what's pertinent, and we're super close. Like, anybody who watches the show probably already knows that he and I are like inseparable, super close, best friends, but it's still like a male-female relationship. I don't expect him to act like one of my girlfriends. And I think a lot of young women especially, they want their boyfriend to act like one of their girlfriends would. And you shouldn't expect that from a man, because here's why. If he actually did that, you wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
If your boyfriend wanted to cry in your arms all the time when he had a bad day at work, you would very quickly be like,
Yeesh.
You'd be dry as the Sahara, right? It would just not be a turn on for you. So I think when you're young, you think you want that stuff from a man, but you really don't. So yeah, we're super close, but he doesn't have to like pour out his emotions to me all the time. He does when he wants to and when he feels like that's something he wants to do. Mm-hmm. The rest of the time, I respect it if he doesn't want to do that.
Okay. And like, do you kind of, I mean, you guys are 17 years in, do you know like his like childhood, the way he grew up, and does that help you like understand him a lot better on why he acts the way he acts in certain situations, because you know his like background?
Well, yeah, but that's because, you get to know their family, you hear stories, like, of course I know his parents and his siblings, and so I've heard stories about him growing up. He'll tell me stories about growing up, but he's not going to sit down with me like a therapist and be like, when I was growing up, I felt like my mom did this or my dad did that, and here's how it affected my development. Like, he's not going to talk to me like that, right? So I do know him. I know him really well, and I can observe his dynamic with his family and hear stories. So that's like how you get to know a man. It's not going to be like he's going to sit down on the phone with you for 4 hours and pour out his heart necessarily. Maybe some guys do that. Maybe it works for some people, but Andrew is
the nonchalant nature of a man is what attracts a woman to a man. You're too emotional. You seem like one of the girlies. They don't like that. They want a man that's going to provide, protect, and love. What about those 3 words says you need to be vulnerable and open and completely honest? None of them, bro. None of them. There's 5 very basic things that I think every man should have. Vision, ambition, strength, integrity, and compassion. That's things that every strong man, in my opinion, should have. And if you want to be a king, you have to be keen, impervious, noble, and groomed. You want people to take you serious, you need to look like you need to be taken seriously. You need to look good. You need to look the part. You need to dress well. You need to be in good shape. So I feel like a lot of men fall short of that now because they think, I just need to have money. I mean, having money's good. But don't forget that your personality plays a big part in it, right? Just with men, there's 3 things that men most of the time are looking for in a woman. Is your looks gets our attention, your personality keeps our attention, and your character is what makes us fall in love with you. I think it's kind of the same thing for women as well. Looks is what gets their attention, your personality is what keeps their attention, and your character is what makes them fall in love with you. 2/3 of that, if you don't work on that, that's all internal work. Your personality and your character, that's all internal work. The external work should be done, of course, because 75% of somebody's perception of you is how you look, whether you want to believe it or not. People most of the time are going to judge you, for the most part, on how you look, how you dress, how you walk. That's what they're going to judge you on. What your hair looks like, how well kempt you are. I got stopped at the mall a couple weeks ago, and some guy was like, man, you look like an actor or something. I was like, I'm not. I do social media. It's like, okay, I've seen your content. But when I go out, my hair's always taken care of. I look nice. My beard looks nice. If I'm in a more casual fit, like a Nike fit, it all fits. It looks good. If I'm in like an old money fit, it looks good. I make sure I go out and I present it. I see people go out to like Jiffy Lube in their freaking pajamas. I'm like, bro, you're wearing your Crocs that you wear at home in pajama pants and a t-shirt with like freaking stains on it. Wonder why do people treat me like crap? Dude, you look like crap. Dress the part. Something I learned in college is that if you look good, you feel better, and then also people treat you differently. Here, I'll challenge you guys. We did this one a few weeks ago, but I'll challenge you guys again to this. For the next week, starting next week, Why don't you do this? Why don't you try to wear a nice outfit every single day of the week to see how people treat you differently, but then also take note of how you feel about yourself. I'm not saying you need to wear a 3-piece suit every day. If you can wear a suit, cool. If you got 5 suits to wear or 2 or 3 suits to wear, cool, do it. Try to wear some of the nicest clothes you have for a week straight. Even if you work from home or you're just, maybe you're off work, maybe you're doing a staycation, maybe you're on vacation. Wear some of the nicest clothes that you have and just feel the difference. And because when you see yourself in the mirror, you're going to perceive yourself differently. And then other people's perception of you is going to look differently. Why is he dressed up? He must be somebody who's worth something. He must be of value somehow because he looks nice. People will perceive you differently, I promise. But I feel like most people just dress casually, dress like, I just wear blue jeans and a t-shirt and like busted shoes. Like, dress as nice as you can for a week and see how people treat you differently. And then also take note of how you feel about yourself. There's going to be a huge shift, I almost promise you. Loki, did you have a good time today? But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It never gets old, bro. It never gets old. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It was good to have you guys out, man. Peace.